All right, so welcome everybody. It's nice to see a bunch of familiar faces and to have a nice big group here with us. We are so excited to learn from Christy Jones today. I do want to do a quick plug. We have our ACE program, our Art-Centered Education program, and we still have space to work with school partners where we can provide free professional development, customized in a way that makes sense for your school, your students, your teammates. And so I know Cynthia's on this call as well. We are both advocates for this program and able to talk to you if you know of a school or are part of a school that could participate or that would potentially be eager to embrace more arts integration in your school and learn more about it. We would love to be that support for you. Okay. I'm done steamrolling through all of that. We're going to get ready to kind of build our space together and start our workshop here. I like to try to build a brave space. I hope that everybody feels safe and comfortable in this Zoom, but I can't always guarantee that safety. But in our brave space, we're going to be present. I know I shared my story about how my first day of pre-K went today, but I've got my phone down. I'm ready to be actively engaged in our workshop together. Be open. You never know where that little nugget of, that would work for this or that would work for that might come from. It could come from a breakout. It could come from our leader. It could come just from, seeing what friends are putting in our chat room. So just kind of be open and embrace those ahas. And lastly, we would love for you to engage. If you feel safe and comfortable unmuting and talking and sharing with the group, we would love that. If you feel more safe putting things in the chat box, you can do that as well. I'll kind of manage that as we work through our time together. Okay, I'm gonna really have you see how brave our space is because I'm gonna have you move a little bit here. We're gonna get started with just a little warm-up activity. I'm gonna flash a word onto the screen. If you would like to stand up behind your computer and use your whole body to activate your whole body, feel free. If you feel more safe kind of staying in your Zoom frame, you are welcome to do that as well. But here's our first one, and I feel like this one might be pretty easy for a few of us, especially those beginning of year teachers. With your body, and it could be your whole body, it could be one part of your body, how would you show this word tired? Let's see what you might do. Oh, I'm noticing heads down, eyes closed, slouched bodies. Excellent. Let's try another one. Ooh, different energy here. I see open mouths. I'm noticing open mouths. Excellent. Jazz hands. Oh, arms raised. Our body looks like it's growing bigger. Wonderful. Let's try another one. Oh, chaos. Oh, I see some friends moving side to side. Oh, some are kind of overwhelmed by the chaos. They've got hands on their heads or pulling their hair. Nice. All right, let's try another one here. Eager. How could you show eager? Oh, I'm seeing eyes getting bigger, smiles getting bigger. Excellent. All right, we have a couple more here. Supported. How could you show this? I'm going to challenge you on this one. How could you show this maybe with just one part of your body, like your arms? How could you show supported with just your arms in this? Oh, some are kind of lifting the other one up, balancing it. Good. Could you show supported in a different way, maybe with just your head? What would it look like if you're using just your head? Ooh, some of you are like straightening it up. Great. Ooh, how about lonely? Could you use your body to show lonely? I see arms crossed. Our bodies are shrinking a little bit again. Wonderful. Joyful. Big smiles, dances. Awesome. Now, who can think of maybe what all these words have in common? What part of year might they remind us of?
Definitely those first couple days, getting into the routines and the chaos, but also there's joy and eagerness with all the faces. And then there's a lot of chaos with kindergartners and those younger ones that have never been in a classroom, like your preschoolers. But you feel support of your staff. You feel a camaraderie because you're all in it together.
Yeah, I'm not sure about you guys, but I'm definitely at different points in the day or the week feeling some of these different things. But wanted to just give us a chance to wiggle in case you haven't wiggled enough today. Before I show you this next image, which is something you may have seen before, I kind of went back and forth on what I wanted an opening activity to be, but I felt like I was feeling the beginning of the school year emotions, and I thought maybe that might be a good place just to kind of check in and see where we are. So this is called the blob, and there are, looks like 21 different blobs here that are all expressing or showing different kinds of feelings and emotions. I want you to take just a quiet, maybe 15-30 seconds and kind of notice all of the different blobs. And then I want you to choose one that feels like your start to the year. How are you feeling as you go into this next school year? How are you feeling as you go into these, engaging in these main events for the next couple of months? Just take a couple quiet seconds of looking. All right. Would anybody like to share out which blob they are relating to and why?
It's
Feel like
unfair, but I feel 20 because I'm retired.
Nice. King of the mountain up there, huh? King of the tree.
I feel like number 2 at the very bottom there, lifting others, because that first week of school is really about setting the groundwork and lifting up each student to help them get to the branches of the tree to grow and move on throughout the school year.
Yeah, I said number 9 because I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm teaching seniors and they're just so stressed out and so worried about every little thing. And so I'm just trying to model for them like, hey, just swing, hang loose, be free. This is a beautiful year, a beautiful memory. Just be in the moment. So that represents for me just being in the moment and just taking each day at a time.
I don't know if I understand number 9 completely, but swinging from that trapeze, I guess it's a little bit in limbo. I'm an organization organizer and I'm waiting for responses for the school year from teachers and that we want to do programs with. So it's like swinging back and forth, I guess.
Awesome. Well, we're going to feel a lot of these things at a lot of different times. And just acting that out with our body, I was noticing, some of those days where things are feeling chaotic or feeling lonely and our bodies are kind of shrinking, just to kind of recognize how your body is feeling and what you're feeling and take care of you as you go through. And then also in those moments where you're feeling joyful and excited and supported and you've got those bigger body stances and you're jumping and smiling and joyful, celebrate those as well as you go into your school year. So I just wanted to give us a chance to kind of see where we are, see how we're feeling, and move forward. And then I'm going to pass it off. We have Christy Jones with us, who is a teaching artist that uses arts integration as her method of teaching. She combines writing and visual arts and music and jewelry making. She is attending UCLA And that gave her an opportunity to explore her identity through cultural and academic experiences. She graduated with a BA in English and then went on to earn her master's degree in multicultural education and another master's degree in journalism. She's currently a senior at Arizona State University with a major in digital audiences and a minor in museum studies. She's teaching English, journalism, and creative writing for over 20 years. She's an English faculty member at a high school in Kansas City. I don't think I have the name written down here.
Notre Dame to Scion High
There
School.
you go. Okay. Yeah, I just had Kansas City down. And she's teaching seniors in a and is a dual credited instructor at UMKC's English department. So she is gonna take the lead from here. I'm gonna stop sharing and mute my microphone, and I'm gonna pass it off to you, Christy. Thanks for being here today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for a beautiful introduction. So today we are going to talk about Black women in jazz. Again, I'm a teaching artist and I love to integrate music, visual art, and jewelry making into the writing process. And this is something that can be done in any content area to just bring a different sense of belonging to your classroom. So let's get started. So I wanted to start out with a visual thinking exercise. Can everyone see this? Should I make this larger or is this okay? Is this okay? Okay, perfect. So I just wanted to start out with some visual thinking to warm us up. And this is a great technique to use in any content area to bring in visual art. So this is a painting of Nina Simone from an exhibit called Voices by an artist named Rebecca Moses. And the paintings are of all Black women, iconic figures in jazz. And the size of these paintings are from the top of a wall all the way to the floor. So just imagine walking into a gallery space and a painting is just enveloping you. So this is a really beautiful exhibit. I urge you to Google it later to find out more. Her name is Rebecca Moses, and it's called Voices. So anyway, using visual art just as a warm-up to bring into any content area to introduce visual arts concepts. For example, the background is pink, the foreground is of the profile of Nina Simone's face. The colors that are being used, deep brown to represent her skin, pink for her lipstick, pink turquoise hints of gold for her eyeshadow, shape, her heart-shaped lips, her almond-shaped eye, the circle shape of dangling circles from her ears to make a collection of her earrings, the square shape of her headpiece or her head wrap, pattern, the braid that is going across her forehead, the pattern in her dress, the sparkly pattern in her headpiece. So this is just to allow students just to kind of use their interpretation skills, be introduced to visual art. Very simple, easy way to integrate that into any content area to use as a warm-up, just to use to break the ice, to get students to look beyond the surface, which is a skill that we need in any content area, how to move beyond what's just at the surface of a particular topic or idea. So let's talk more about Nina Simone. In 1966, this jazz singer, composer, pianist wrote the song For Women. How many of you are familiar with the song For Women? Just with a thumbs up. Have you ever heard the song For Women? Okay, no problem. For Women is an iconic jazz song. And I urge you after this presentation to dig deeper into Nina Simone. There's some really great things happening. Venus Williams is investing in her childhood home to create a type of museum experience so we can learn more about Nina Simone. Nina Simone was in a relationship with a rabbi, an intercultural, interracial relationship, and new information is coming out about that relationship and the creative partnership that she had in songwriting and things of that nature. So I just urge you to kind of Google Nina Simone after the fact to get better acquainted with this beautiful jazz icon. But For Women is what we're focusing on today. And so Nina wrote this song as a response to the bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama in 1963. So this world event had a huge impact on her and it urged her to write this song. The song honored the 4 women murdered in the heinous terrorist attack. Her anger at this event fueled her to create art that could express how America viewed Black women as invisible and the acts of violence and racism they faced every day. She was adamant about telling the stories of Black women. And that's really what the focus of this workshop is storytelling, being inclusive, creating a sense of belonging for everyone in your classroom to just kind of pause and create space for being human. Coming off of, you know, I'm the teacher, you're the student over here, here's your assignment, I'm gonna grade it. Just coming out of that mode for just a moment and having an experience that is all about human connection. The cultural impact of this song created many renditions. So again, as you start your Google search and you get into YouTube, you're gonna see so many different renditions of this piece spanning over the decades all across the globe. Such an impactful song. So impactful, a play was even created about this song. Playwright Christina Ham wrote the musical Nina Simone for Women to highlight Simone's career shifts from artist to activist. And many artists use their work, they're impacted by something that happens in the world, as many people are, and they respond to it and they turn to activism to want to create change. So regardless of your content area, that is something beautiful to share with students, that you can be inspired and impacted by a world event and use art to respond to it, to want to spark and create change. And it doesn't matter what your content area is, to start having those types of conversations. So I want to frame our discussion today in intangible cultural heritage. So I'm a museum studies minor, and right now I'm a digital audiences major. And what that means is just a fancy title to rethink about communications, journalism, social media, and digital content. I really enjoy being able to access art online. And as a teacher, I know we're all busy. We are pulled in a million different directions, but I want to urge you to use Google Culture. So jot that down, Google Culture. It is all online museum resources that you can go visit virtually any museum in the world. So I urge you to use that, bring in that visual art, bring in those museum exhibits into your lessons, for do-nows, for warm-ups, for exit tickets. It's just a way to just break up the monotony and expose students to human connections through art. So intangible cultural heritage, also known as living cultural heritage, focuses on oral traditions and expressions inherited by our ancestors. So things that are passed down from our ancestors to our descendants. For example, oral traditions such as poetry and storytelling, performing arts, social practices, rituals, and festive events. So Black women such as Nina Simone use language and music for storytelling. Jazz performances are social practices. If you haven't noticed, jazz is a cultural phenomenon. It's global, it's everywhere. And it's signified through special festivals that happen on a calendar basis. So if you haven't been to a jazz festival, I urge you to get involved. It is such a beautiful experience, multicultural experience that is all about intangible cultural heritage. Jazz performers are social practices. Jazz performances are social practices that have grown globally. Songs are passed down from generation to generation, such as For Women. For Women amplifies the African-American oral tradition of storytelling, and we're gonna see why. So what is our purpose for today? We know Nina's purpose. Her purpose for writing and performing For Women was simply to tell the stories of Black women. Our purpose for meeting today is to learn how to use jazz-inspired writing to celebrate the African-American oral tradition, and for you all as participants to create story circles to tell your stories. I really want to urge teachers to participate in that human connection, human experience with students. You don't have to tell any deep, heavy stories about your personal life, but you can connect with students about your academic journey. Maybe talk about your high school experience, talk about your college experience. Students are really interested, especially older students that are starting to think ahead to the next step. They are really curious about, what was it like for you to study and go to college? What was it like for you post-graduation to find a job? How did you balance, career and family and responsibilities? So those could be some jumping off points for you as a teacher to share some personal anecdotes where you don't feel the pressure to share anything too heavy. But those are really great jumping off points to share with your students to create a human connection. I created jazz-inspired writing to help teachers humanize their classrooms and to build a culture of trust through storytelling. Oftentimes, students and teachers, they struggle to find that balance of trust. I know we're in a very political, heightened season where, there's cultural wars and there's, fear of saying this or talking about that. But just going back to old-fashioned storytelling, oral tradition, folklore, mythology, really having human connections with students to just give access to just bring in a tone of belonging, accessibility, and that everyone has a story to tell, regardless of where you are, in the social spectrum, if you will, of you're an A student, you're a struggling student, you're a language minority student, regardless of your label or where you fit in this social spectrum. As a human being, you have a story to share. And as an instructor, I have a story to tell. I want to share it with you, and I want us to connect on a human level. Jazz-inspired writing is very potent in creating human connections, building community in your classroom, and transforming thinking. It's very authentic and it's very pure. People are coming from a place of honesty and wanting to just be seen as humans. So Black women in jazz as modern day griots. So a griot is a member of a class of traveling poets, musicians, and storytellers who maintain a tradition of oral history in parts of West Africa. Griots preserve intangible cultural heritage. Nina Simone transmits intangible cultural heritage through her performance of Four Women. Nina Simone performed Four Women at the Antibes Jazz Festival in France in 1969. This is the oldest jazz festival in Europe, which debuted on July 7th, 1960, and it's still going strong. It's on my bucket list to go one summer. It happens in the summer in July. Absolutely gorgeous. Google it and you'll see it is just a fabulous Mediterranean situation. So something you want to put on your bucket list too, and we can compare notes later. So just to put this all into context for you, in 1963, Nina was impacted by the church bombing in Birmingham, Alabama. In 1966, she wrote Four Women as a response to the murders of the Four Women. And in 1969, she performed this on the world stage. So we know American history. We know that this is like at the height of the civil rights movement in America. We know that there's a lot of turmoil and tension around racism. And so just to put into perspective for you how this jazz artist used her art and it really sacrificed and took a chance of really going there, writing the song in this political climate to give voice to these four women that perished in this situation. So we're going to hear the song for the first time. For some of you, this may be the first time you ever heard this song, but this is her performing at that jazz festival. Again, intangible cultural heritage. This is a social practice. This is the oral tradition of storytelling. This is people coming together for a ritual of a jazz festival that happens every year. Four Women.
It is a picture of four different women, Negro women. My skin is black and my arms are long. My hair is like wool and my back is strong. Strong enough to take all the pain that's been inflicted again and again and again and again. What do they call me? My name is Aunt Sarah. danseras. My skin is yellow, and my hair is long and straight and long, long, long. Between two worlds, I do belong, I do belong. My father was rich and white. He forced my mother late one night. What do they call me? My name is Saffronia. Mon nom est Saffronia. Yeah, there is. Yeah. My skin is tan, tan. And my hair's all right. It's fine. My hips invite your daddy. And my mouth is like wine. Whose little girl am I? Why, yours if you got some money to buy. I meet you in Cannes later. What do they call me? They call me sweet thing. They call me sweet thing. They call me sweet thing. But I say, da. My skin is brown, brown, and my manner is tough. I'll kill the first mother I see. My life has been too rough. I'm awfully bitter these days. 'Cause my parents were slaves. What do they call me? My name is Peaches.
All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of reflection. What colors do you feel after seeing Nina Simone's performance? So I want you to look at the color wheel. We have red for passion, orange for expression, yellow for creativity, green for love, nature, blue indigo, inner peace, violet for universal flow, meditation, What color or colors do you feel after seeing Nina Simone's performance? Type 2 to 3 sentences in the chat to explain. When you're finished, take a moment to just read over other responses to make human connections. Do that now. And if 2 to 3 sentences is a stretch, 2 to 3 words will be suffice as well. What colors do you feel? Or what color? Red and violet. I love Nina Simone's artistry and passion. This piece is provocative and thought-provoking. Absolutely. I feel orange and violent, definitely felt the emotion behind her words and was getting goosebumps, yet felt so calm and zen watching her perform. I definitely had that connection as well. It was riveting, but I felt such inner peace by her storytelling. Absolutely. I felt all the colors at the top of the wheel. Her passion, creativity, and passion were so evident in this performance. I felt how personal it was for her. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I urge you, for time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and move forward with the presentation, but I definitely, urge you. I have one more. Violet. The song makes me meditate on each woman. Yes, 4 women, 4 very distinct stories. Yes. The way she forces you to see these beautiful women in their unique ways is powerful. Absolutely. And that was her intent. Her intent and purpose was to magnify and amplify what would have been those 4 girls that perished in that attack, what could have been their stories, what represents the average Black woman in America at that time. And I see the correlation with present day time. I can identify and relate to each of those stories in some unique way. Orange and green, due to her passion for explaining the purpose of each woman. Absolutely. So I'm going to move forward to our next slide for time's sake. And we're going to actually get into some writing. So grab a pen and some paper, and we're actually going to do jazz inspired writing so you feel what it's like. So you can go back to your students and you can kind of borrow from this technique and make it your own. But I really want to have you feel what it's like to hear a rendition of the song. So like I alluded to in the beginning of the presentation, 4 Women is iconic jazz song. And it has been performed globally, so many different renditions. And also there's a stage play based on this song. So there's 4 distinct voices. As you're listening to this rendition, I want you to really reflect on a personal experience. Again, it doesn't have to be anything that you don't want to share that's too heavy or too deep. If you're looking for a frame, think about your college experience, your teaching experience, something that you would feel comfortable sharing with students that could help inspire them or make a human connection with them. And I always urge talking about your education. How did you come to your content? How did you come to wanting to be a teacher? Those are great anecdotal experiences that are low pressure. Reconnect with yourself. I know, the beginning activity that launched this entire presentation, we had a myriad of emotions, right? As we're starting this year, but take a moment to go inward, reconnect with yourself. Take a moment, give yourself permission to reflect on a slice of your life. As adults, we just don't get time to reflect and just go inward. We're always just go, 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 go. So use this time to really go inward and think about self, reconnect with self. Share aspects of your identity. Again, things that you're comfortable sharing. Allow for women to inspire your writing. So as you're listening and you're formulating your own story, you can borrow Nina's frame of how she starts. My name is, and my hair is, my skin is. If you want to be descriptive about your physical attributes, you can do that. You can do whatever you would like to do. If you want to talk about your name, if you want to talk about what you're called, what you want to be called, it's totally up to you. This is a free write. It's all about letting the jazz music inspire you. As many of you alluded to in the chat with your colors, it's a very strong emotional experience that is unique as our fingerprints. What you're gonna feel and express and what's gonna inspire you to write is all personal, and it's just a beautiful experience to each individual person. I want you to really pay attention to this performance. Instead of being Nina, being the four voices, we have four voices representing each woman. And it's a very powerful performance from 2010. It's from a program called Black Girls Rock. And these are four jazz R&B contemporary artists that took on this performance and made it their own. Very powerful performance. It's about 4 minutes and 40 seconds. So I just want to challenge you to keep your pen to your paper the duration of the song. And whatever you're able to produce, when we get into our breakout sessions, we're gonna have story circles where each person will get a chance to share. You'll have some human connection and discussion, and we'll come back to the main stage. So write your story and be prepared, be bold, be confident to go into that breakout session to tell your story. That was Nina's whole purpose for writing the song, to tell our individual stories. All right, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Marsha Ambrosius, Lettucey, Kelly Price, and Jill Scott.
My skin is black. My arms are long. My hair is woolly and my back is strong. Strong enough to take the pain inflicted again and again. What do they call me? My name is Aunt Sarah. Aunt Sarah. My skin is yellow. My hair is long. Between two worlds, I do belong. Yeah. My father was rich and wide. He forced my mother late one night. So what do they call me? My name's Saffronia. Saffronia. Yeah. My skin is tanned. My hair is fine. My hair What do they call me? Aunt Sarah. What do they call me? Saffronia. What do they call me? Sweet thing. What do they call me? My name is Peaches.
So very strong rendition, beautiful stage presence, the lighting, the sound, 4 distinct voices, 4 distinct women to really tell those stories of those women. So now we're gonna break into our story circles, but before we do, there's a few agreements that I wanna review with you. Each participant will perform their story. And what I mean by performing is you're not just doing a dry read of this, you're living it. It's your life, it's your story, it's your performance. So that's what I mean by perform your story. One voice at a time, so you can kind of, in your breakout room, kind of negotiate who goes first, who goes next. Be open to listening, be open to just a new experience with a story circle. Not sure if any of you have ever participated in a story circle before, but it's a very profound experience to just connect with other humans. Be inspired. Listen for ways that your life intersects with someone else and be inspired. Inspire others. Be courageous and bold, even with the most mundane story or the most deep story. Just be bold and inspire others by your life's journey. Celebrate the African American oral tradition of storytelling. Really use your voice in this exercise, because that is the way culture is passed down, that oral tradition, that storytelling, as you just witnessed with 4 women performed in 2010 based off of a song written way back in the 60s. You can see the trajectory of that being passed down. Lastly, I really want to emphasize creating human connections. This is not just a dry read. This is really you getting into a space with other human beings and really shedding your titles, shedding your social classes, shedding all of these social cues and norms, and just coming together with other human beings to get back to the basics of storytelling and being human and connecting as humans. Build community with each other, find those connections, have those moments of levity and light and profound quiet and silence, or head nodding and affirming each other. Have that community building experience. And lastly, transform thinking. Take what you've listened to and heard and leave here today transformed in some way. All right. So we are going to go ahead and get into our breakout sessions. I'm not sure how our leader is going to help us do that and zoom us into different sections. But once you get in there, you just start one at a time sharing and let the human connections flow.
Thank you so much. Phyllis is gonna send us out into groups. Let's take about 5 minutes to share. If you wrap up earlier than that, you're welcome to come back. But really, like Christy said, kind of embrace this circle reading, and we'll see you back soon.
All right.
Lauren, you are unassigned, but you can join any room you like. Would you like me to send you somewhere?
No, I can see where everybody's going on my
Okay.
laptop, but I couldn't see it in my on my screen. So I will. It looks like there's one group that only has 2 people, so I might jump in that one.
I can go too. I'll go to 3.
Okay. Room 3. Yeah.
Oh. Somebody else joining us?
It looks like we do have friends.
Yeah, we have Phyllis.
Hey guys, good to see ya.
Hi.
Who wants to go first?
You.
Okay, I do. Um, there's an old-fashioned photo cube that comes to mind, the kind that has the plastic on all the outsides and the top, and there's a different image on each one. Every which way it is turned, it shows different facets of one or of many. United voices, so powerful. The question, who am I? What is my name? The answer is somewhat known and yet unknown and surprising. That's all.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Who wants to go next?
I don't know if we can top that or not.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Don't have to top it. Just let it out.
Just let it out. I'll be glad to go.
Okay.
So my name is Ida, and my job is to protect the unborn children. But to protect the unborn children, first I have to be able to protect the men from swinging from a tree. You see, when you see the man swinging from the tree, you see three colors. You see the black that represents the death. You see the rope in the tree he does not want to be hung by. And you also see his lifeline, which is his blood seeping into the soil. So it's my job to save the man, to procreate life for generations, for life to expand.
Very nice.
Thank you.
So
Betty, can you share any writing that you have?
I can share what I have. I'm definitely not the writer that my two lady friends are here, but I kind of just followed the pattern. So my skin is pale. My hair is gray. My life has taught me to be kind, to help my friends. I want to make a difference. I need to be needed. What do they call me? Betty. What do they call me? Betty.
Love it.
I like that.
I just followed the patterns.
Yeah. There's beauty. There's beauty in that kind of symmetry, both within her piece and with what you shared, Betty. That I don't know, I in my mind's eye, it's like pillars on the front of a building, you know, like a bank or, you know, one of those kind of Romanesque sort of buildings that each one might have a different cornice or decoration or something, but it's just that repetitive pattern of that brings comfort and stability.
The support system.
Support, yeah.
So
Karen, yours is so fraught with responsibility and pain and angst.
I have a collection. So I have needless to say, I do a whole story because, you know, I'm a certified storyteller, right? So I have a whole series about Ida B. Wells Burnett. And so I have 4 textile panels that's in representation of that. But that I just did just came off the cuff, but I have an actual presentation I do. So yeah.
Now that makes me want to see your works of art too.
So you're a storyteller?
I'm a certified national and international storyteller. Yes.
Very nice.
Thanks.
I am not. I am not a writer nor a storyteller.
You just wrote a quick one, so hey.
Yeah, you did.
And you
I'm a
only had
retired building administrator working for Springboard to Learning. So.
It's all right.
Yes.
See, there's always something else in us that we don't even know that's in us until someone brings it out.
That's so
normally
true.
I
And
don't
when's
off
the last time you were creative like this, Betty, in your day-to-day life, that somebody said, draw whatever comes out?
Yeah, I like to be creative. I like to plan and do those kinds of things, but no, I don't make time to write and be creative.
But there's a part of you that is creative because I'm looking at that shirt you got on. That's very
I
creative.
like,
So you have a creative eye for an attire, even though you may not have a creative hand to create a visual. You see what I mean? So I think we all have some creativity somewhere.
yep, I love to plan events, so.
See, there it is. It's there.
So glad you're here
We
today,
got someone
Betty.
telling us to come back, so.
Yep, we'll see you in there. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Felt bad I didn't come back. I feel wasn't nearly enough time for that experience.
Well, fortunately, the rooms are on the small side. I did put 3 because I
Okay.
figured in 5 minutes, everybody has a minute or so and then a minute to debrief. But we were rule followers. We came back.
All right, so we are back, and I had just in that short time, it was such an impactful conversation. It just felt so good to have so many intersections with the people that were in my breakout room. So if you were to do this again, of course, you would have longer time, extended time, where you can just really get deep and delve deeper with your participants and your students. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to, in the chat, I'm going to drop a short little article. It's a really a short read that you can use to launch. Let me try that again. Command copy and command paste. There it is. And it's just a short article that I wrote that lays out the 2 videos that are in this presentation, gives you a little historical background about the church bombing and how Nina went from artist to activist. If you're interested in pursuing this as a workshop with your students or with your colleagues, there's just something for you to take with you. I want to end by saying that the African-American oral tradition and performance are ways that intangible cultural heritage is passed on in jazz. Black women in jazz are modern day griots, those storytellers, those containers of culture. They use language, music, and performance to tell stories. Integrate jazz-inspired writing into your content area. It doesn't matter if you're science, math, reading, you know, it does not matter. You will see students gravitate to the melodic sounds and to the words of particular songs. Be inspired to write and share your stories too. I want to inspire you as adults on the line to really do some self-reflection, spend some time with yourself, and think about a human experience that you've had and how you can share that with someone else to enlighten them and to build them up. This is, again, a wonderful exercise to make human connections, build community, and transform thinking. Thank you so much for taking time to participate in jazz-inspired writing today.
Thank you so much, Christy. That was phenomenal. I feel I have goosebumps listening to you and your inspiration around this, the same way I did listening to Nina Simone. So thank you for sharing with us. And thank you all for being so open and willing to participate. I hated hitting that end breakout room box, but I know I wanted to respect everybody's time. Thank you so much for coming. I'm going to just share a couple final things and then I will let you go, but I understand if you need to pop off. One artful thinking strategy that I thought would be really helpful for us to do, and we're not going to spend time doing it, but you could take some of your own personal time just to kind of think. But it's called I used to think, but now I think. And this is a great reflective tool to bring into your classrooms as well when you are introducing a new topic, where students explain, you know, I used to think this about multiplication, but now I think this. And so for us today, kind of thinking about, you know, what did you think about jazz inspired writing before our time together today? And what are you thinking now? Just kind of, you know, in your own time, have that personal reflection. If you enjoyed today's session, I hope you come back in September. September 25th, we're going to have Wolf Trap teaching artist Mark Pagano. He's going to be doing some music work as well. He has a workshop called Music Maker, where he teaches students a variety of literacy skills through music creation and songwriting. So if that sounds interesting to you, please join us, sign up on our website, pass it along to your colleagues. And last but not least, if you do need a Continue Ed certificate, shoot me an email and I will send that out to you. Last but not least, I'm going to put a Google form in the chat. If you could take some personal time and give us feedback, it always helps us find great presenters like Christy and kind of create a space here where you can walk away feeling empowered and inspired to bring arts integration into your classroom. That is all we have. Thank you so much for joining us today, Christy. It was phenomenal. Thank you for joining us. And I hope you all have an amazing week with your kiddos. Thanks so much.